Alrighty, everyone. I just bought one of the new accessibility controllers that hit the market, and I wanted to try setting it up, see how the process goes. I'm going to try to do it quickly, and then I will test it out by trying to play Fall Guys on the new controller here. Unfortunately, I don't have a camera on me available to look at the controller setup, but hopefully I will be able to get that shortly for future streams. But the first thing that stands out to me right now is that the contrast on this Axis controller prompt is very good. Standard white text with a black background, very, very easy to read. Alright, so let's see here. I'm gonna hit X. No. Alright, using two controllers together. To add another Axis controller, connect it to your PS5 using the USB cable and then press the PlayStation button. Okay, so in my case I only have one, so I'm just gonna hit next. And then it says use your DualSense wireless controller. You can also use your DualSense wireless controller with your Axis controller. So I'll hit OK. And that's actually pretty good. I am hitting the arrow keys on my PlayStation 5 controller, and it's also given focus in this menu here. So this is pretty sweet. Your controller is named Axis Controller 1 by default, so you can edit the name anytime. Okay, so I'll hit OK. Hardware customization. Let's start by trying different stick caps and button caps and customizing other parts of the hardware. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna try to walk me through, so that's very good design. I was a little bit nervous when I looked at the actual manual and I saw what was the equivalent of those IKEA type instructions where all they have is just like the pictures and stuff. And as someone with a visual impairment, those instructions don't really help me out at all. So it's good to see that here I'm getting walked through. Alright, so you can adjust the length on them, which is pretty good. I've already done that. Hit done. Next. Your Axis controller comes with a variety of stick caps. Try them out and see which ones feels the best for you. So this is actually pretty good. So they do have raised ones, which one of them has my R2 button on it. But for the most part, for me, I'm using the smoother ones. So I've already got mine set up, so I'm just going to hit done. If you have any external devices such as buttons or switches, you can connect them to the 4 expansion ports and set them up for later use. Okay, so this would be for those who do have existing peripherals. I do know that besides the PlayStation Axis controller, there have been other controllers that were released by Microsoft specifically for users who are more motor impaired than I am. I don't have any of those just because I don't use them too much. but I know that they are out there. I do have to use some of them when I'm testing websites and stuff for accessibility, but for the purposes of gaming, this PlayStation Access controller is my first experience with that sort of control mechanism. So we just got it. Alright, next let's go over how to set up the controller orientation and button assignments. So this is actually just going over the button lines. Oh, look at that. I didn't even think about that. So in one of the buttons, they've actually set it up to where you have both the R2 and the L2 on one spot. See, that would not have even occurred to me. Because as far as I can tell, most of the little buttonholes only have one little buttonhole, with the exception of the really long one that has room for two. You can rotate your controller in a 90-degree increments to make it face a direction that's easy for you to use. Your controller settings such as button assignments, controller orientation, and stick sensibility can be saved as a profile. Okay, so that's good. First, you'll need to create a profile so that you can assign it to a profile slot. Go to the profile library and create a profile. In your profile library, you can create and edit profiles. You can also see the list of profiles you've created, okay? So mind you, right now I'm doing all of this with my PlayStation Access controller. Select the control orientation for your new profile. Which way do you want the stick base to point? Okay, so for me, because I'm a righty, it's going to be better for me to have it to the left, because I can try to control the orientation with my the stick with my right thumbprint. Use your controller with these button assignments while editing this screen. Next. Here are the button assignments that you're currently editing. Select Done to proceed with these assignments. Okay, let's see here. Center button. Okay, so center button is X, so I'll just set that to X. Let's see here. Assign button. Okay, so cross button. Oh boy, we're getting into the UK variants here. Oh, interesting. So that's how they set it up. Okay, now I'm following along. So they can be set up to where you can have two buttons sharing the same space. Okay, okay. That's pretty good. Oh, look at that. Nice. Yes, I'll turn that on. Just so I can get used to it. Okay, so button number 1. I currently have this set to L2. And then the button beneath that one is L1. Where are you, L1? Alright, Hermia would have gone with the yellow for the focus indicator, just because it's easier for me to see. I am losing my place a bit. And then for this one I have square. And then I have triangle. And then circle is here. And then R2. And then this one is currently set up as the I can change this one to something else. This is set up as the options button. And then the last one that I have is the R1 button. Left directional stick or directional buttons. Using each button you control. Okay, so let me edit it. Didn't realize that one was. Okay, so when you tap down on the button, what do you want it to do? Okay, so I guess I will have it be the L3 button. Okay, I think I'm done. To use your profile, you need to assign it a profile slot in your controller. Your controller has 3 profile slots, so you can switch between. I'll just go here, slot 1. Assign. There we go, look at that, nice. Okay, and then I'll just close this out. Okay, so that setup went through. Now, that was certainly interesting. Oh, it looks like I have a first-time chat. Sorry about that. I missed you there. And table 03, I think it is. Yeah, it's hard for me to see the chats with only one eye, and it's usually on the screen, so I do apologize about that. Okay, back to trying to see if I can use this controller for a very active session here. Where do I have Fall Guys on this account? I think it moved over, let me look for it. There you are, Fall Guys. Okay, there we go. Come on, did I move it over? Yeah, I think I might have moved it over. Let me see here. Okay, looks like it's not doing it, so. All right, so let's see how good I do with one hand using this PlayStation Access controller to play Fall Guys here. I'm probably gonna be pretty bad because I'm not used to playing with only one hand, but for accessibility purposes, this must be done. Alright, let's close this out. And then we're gonna play. Now let's see, what do I want to play? I want to go solo. Alright, so we'll see how I do. Usually when I play this game, I play using my regular DualShock, but I'm gonna try to see how I do with the Access controller here. Let's see. The tricky part is gonna be the muscle memory, because my muscles are so used to a controller. Uh-oh. Okay, this is definitely tricky here. I think the tricky part is just that my hands aren't used to the positions that I'm putting them in. But overall, I'm still feeling a lot better using the Access controller compared to when I'm using the regular controller, just because, like, for my day job, I'm a developer, so as a accessibility consultant, I have to understand what makes things accessible, and that also applies to websites. How do you make websites accessible? How do people with disabilities use websites? And because of that, I've been doing a lot of coding, and my hands have been hurting a lot, which affects my ability to hold the controller recently. But right now, using the Access controller, it's a lot easier, and I'm not in as much pain using the Access controller as I would be holding the regular controller because of my job. Although it is still taking some time to get used to it, because again, I'm not used to this sort of orientation here. Alright, level 2, let's see what happens here. Let me get out of here. Come on, buddies. Let me, can't jump onto it. See, the tricky thing is, because I only have one Access controller, I currently have the joystick set up to essentially control the character, so I don't have a direct way right now to move the camera unless I want to use the controller, which I technically can. There you go, see? That's me on my PlayStation controller. But then you have to kind of switch between the two. Oh no, I fell! Okay, I made it to this third piece here. Let me see if I can... Oh no. These fellows are all over each other. Alright, let me change tactics here. Oh no, I fell over again! Aw, man! I didn't make it. Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks, fiddlesticks, fiddlesticks. Alright. Alright, let's try a different one. Alright, so I managed to get through 2, so that's something, at least. Alright, let me equip that one. Where's mine? Equip! And then we're okay on this one. Oh, I got a little pothead or something on me. Okay. Okay, so I managed to get to 2 at least. Let's try again, see how far we get. So far, this is pretty good. I do feel like I did miss out by not buying the second one because it does feel, at least for me, because again, I'm not used to this setup here, where I'm not getting the full... I feel like I'm not getting the full button length of the regular controllers, but again, that is just because I'm not used to this setup, right? I'm doing it for the purposes of accessibility. It's not my normal setup, but it is still interesting to get a feel for it. Okay, the door one, I think. Okay, let's do this. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, this one's pretty easy. Someone's already made it through. Oh no, I fell. Alright, I made it! I think I was like second to last. You have that guy like right there, right behind me. Oh my. Barely made that one. I like how you have the option to kind of see which buttons are pressed, though I don't think I set that option on for all of them. It's only showing a few of them, so I probably have to go back in and change that shortly. Here. Oh, that penguin. Okay, there's a penguin. Where is it? No, that's not a penguin. Gotta find that penguin. Oh, there's one, I think. Is that it? I got one. No, let me go. Okay, I just gotta keep running. No, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone, no! That's my penguin! It's mine, I saw it first! I saw it first, it's mine! Where'd it go? Oh no! I think we went over here. Oh, I got it! No, I almost had him. I don't think I'm gonna... Fiddlesticks! Darn. Didn't get him. Yeah, you're correct. Right sticking does recenter the camera. The tricky part is that because I have the Axis controller set up, I have to kind of like toggle in between the Axis controller and then the original PS5 controller. And for me, it's a bit difficult to do that because like I get so into the game that I forget like I have to recenter the camera. Because essentially, since I only have one Axis controller, I do have to like switch over the camera, but my problem is I get so engrossed in like what I'm doing that I actually forget. But for like right now, that's one of the things that I'm realizing now as I'm playing using the Axis controller without a second one is that for like different games, I am going to have to switch, like be on top of moving the camera and stuff, because you can use both the PS5 controller and the Axis controller at the same time. It's not, I wouldn't, well, depending on circumstances, some people might use it that way. I personally find it challenging, but there may be others who are better equipped to do that, right? Oh, actually, wait, let me do something first real quick. Oh, nice! You're developing an accessibility controller right now. That's pretty cool. Because that's something that always goes into design, right? So as a consultant, like not only do I have to deal with like websites and stuff, but there's also the process, right? How do different people with different disabilities use products and services? And that's something that when I'm working as a consultant, I have to say, hey, this is how this particular person would use this product. This is how other people use the product. And what I tend to find is that usually the people that are designing these systems don't take that into consideration. They might say, oh, people who are blind or motor impaired are never going to use it, so I don't need to build to that criteria. But when you're designing something specifically like a controller, for example, usually it's good to bring in people with different experiences, different life experiences, because they can guide you in designing for aspects that may be a bit outside of what you were thinking of, right? And you can really tell that that is what happened with this Axis controller, because even when I opened the box, right, I didn't have any struggles with opening the box, or I didn't have to deal with any sort of packaging or anything like that. That fell again. Darn! I believe that's not my area of expertise, but I believe it is related to motor impairments. Is that correct, Ants? Am I in the right ballpark there? Oh no, whoop, I almost fell. Well, for me, ironically, this is one I like this level. For me, it's using the new controller obviously is a bit challenging. Again, I'm not used to it, but I like this one better than the one that I don't remember the name of it. But there's the one where they throw like bananas at you or fruit or whatever it is. Like, that's the one I really don't like. Oh no. Oh, fiddlesticks, I keep falling over. I need more practice with this Axis controller. So one of the things that I'm noticing off the bat, like the Axis controller came with the X button already like set to the middle. So I just kind of left it there because I didn't want to swap it over. But like one thing that I'm noticing, at least for me, is that hitting that X button that is currently centered is a bit more difficult for me than it is to hit like the buttons on the outer edge of the Axis controller. That's why I'm having a bit of a hard time making those jumps. Yes, I absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely so. Like when I was born, essentially, so I was severely disabled, couldn't walk, think, or any of that essentially. Nowadays, most of my disabilities don't affect me as much as they used to, but I still have some motor issues in my hands, so like I can't write for anything at all. If I try to write, like my hands immediately like start feeling in pain and what have you. So I try to like automate a lot of that, right? I try to use technology as a means of circumventing that particular challenge for me. But my main challenge itself is with my vision. I have a visual acuity of 80/200, so I'm not fully blind, but I'm about halfway there. And for me, it is a bit of a mixture because, while yes, now I can understand people and I can have a conversation with someone, there are still other barriers that even with the use of technology, I'm not going to be able to overcome, because there's just always going to be an issue. So like I'll never be able to drive, but I could get around on a bus or a car or a taxi, for example. But I'm waiting on that self-driving car to come out, because once it does, I can buy it and then I can do a lot more, right? But yeah, every challenge is always difficult, so good on you, and Ansible, for going out and doing what you do, because your experience is obviously different than mine, but you're trying to work through it and you've experienced success, because you're not letting your own challenges stop you, right? You're going out and you're trying to kind of do what I do and use your own challenges to your advantage in making that controller for others, right? Okay, let me try to update something on the system settings for this controller here. Let's see here. How do I get into the profile menu? There we go. Okay, perfect. So I accidentally got into the wrong slot. There we go. Let me change something here. Let's see, what's this? Hello, sorry for bothering you. I'll look at that later. Yeah, that don't look right. It might be new to the whole streaming thing, but that don't look right. So I'll just ignore it. Actually, let me see. Click on. Is there an ignore button here? Chat settings. Let's see, maybe I can. Choose I want to be delivered message. So I don't actually have a set streaming schedule, mainly because with my new job that I've started, I've been essentially trying to get the work done. So like today is essentially like the one day that I typically have free. So I was like, all right, let me try to get this access controller out, see how it does, see how I get used to it. But I do try to stream at least once on Saturday. My stream schedule, at least on Twitch, has it to where I'm supposed to be streaming at least Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today I was kind of late doing that. But typically I try for at least Saturday. But usually I am more active on YouTube. On YouTube I like it more just because I'm able to set it up to be more accessible than Twitch. For me, Twitch is a bit more challenging to set up because I have to manually go in and change the name of whatever stream I'm doing, and it's just more work. But the benefit of me doing this stream right now is that all the footage I'm getting with me going into the menus for the access controller, for example, a lot of that can go into the video that I plan on making a little bit later on in the week and then just putting that to YouTube. Now, what was I going to do? Oh, right. I was going to update the settings here. So give me one sec. I have to make this bigger so I can see. So the chat is going to go out of my view for a sec while I try to update this real quick. Okay. Okay, so go to Profile Library, X. Let's go here, Edit. Oh, look at that, nice. It has a little audio that plays, that's pretty cool. Okay, now what I was going to do is, I need to update where it's showing me when the buttons are being pressed. I'm not seeing that for all of them, so let me change that. There you go, button, whoops. That's not what I want. I almost turned on the wrong one. Here it is, right here. Button toggle. This is what I need. Okay. I have to turn that setting on for each of them. Okay, so circle's already set. R2 isn't set. The options doesn't matter. Okay, so left stick you can't do. Okay, that pretty much is done for all. Okay, so now back to one more round of Fall Guys. Yeah, definitely. I'm always up for accessibility testing, because for me, even though like obviously with this controller, like yeah, I do have motor issues, right, with my hands, because again, I was a baby who couldn't walk very well, you know, but I'm not as impaired motorly as I used to be. But I'm always up for trying out new things. The only thing that I would advise is when you are designing the product, right, you have a certain idea of who the target audience is, in theory. However, one thing to keep in mind, and this is what I tell my clients, is that at the end of the day, regardless of what website or app or service you're using, right, you might have a target audience. In your case, people suffering from conditions similar to yours or with that specific challenge, but they may not be the only ones who are using the service. So for like one thing that I advise people to do is like, hey, if I'm using your product or service, if you have like any buttons on them, for example, try to make the buttons big so that people who have more than one disability can still read the icons and stuff, right? Because there could be someone down the line that, for example, is using your controller in the future, and they may be like me, and they may have, you know, minor motor issues that necessitate their use of your controller, but they may also have vision issues to where, hey, they need things to be bigger fonts so that they can not only use your controller, but read where the buttons are or things of that nature, right? Because that's kind of my issue. So I have minor motor skills issues, but again, my vision is my main thing. So like the icons and everything for the access controller are pretty big, so I don't have any issues reading the little icons because of how big they made them. And that was a design choice that you can tell other experts got together and be like, okay, if you're gonna include buttons on them, which they should have, they need to be a certain size because they need to be legible, right? So it's just little things like that are kind of outside of the scope of certain things that may not be thought about, right? And you wouldn't necessarily think about that unless you have someone from that particular group to kind of advocate for that. Oh, I've got a phone call. Oh, that's a problem. I had a phone call. Oh well, I'm pretty sure it's probably just the store. Oh, darn. I missed out because of my phone call. Oh well, I'm pretty sure it's just the store. Well, actually, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta make that phone call. Alright, sorry about that. I had to take a phone call here. Okay, so yeah, I have a delivery coming in. Okay, so let me do. Whoops. Let me exit out. Circle. Okay, so that will be it for this particular stream with the Axis controller. I was regrettably not able to make it to a third round, but I did have a lot of fun trying out the controller. I will be starting up another stream shortly. I just have to wait for this delivery I'm waiting on to come in about an hour or so, give or take. But yeah, for right now that will be it. I will be back in about maybe, I want to say 30 or 45 minutes. And I will try to play Demon's Souls and see how that works. Although for that one, I will probably have to change the setup. Alrighty, so thanks to all the people who watched and streamed. I will be back, I want to say in about 45 minutes maybe.